know.
Optic, and it said, "This is not copper, it's fiber optic."
All right. Good morning to all our Warren First 931 listeners as we are hosting today on this November 12th of a beautiful Tuesday morning.
I'm finally going to wear a sweatshirt.
Yeah, and I'm wearing my flannel.
But at least I get to wear a sweatshirt for part of the day.
Yeah, I want to say Tennessee weather, you got to come appropriate. So when this is done, because I know you can't take that off, but I can, I'll just be like, all right, ready for the afternoon.
I have a backup shirt in the car.
I'm just saying.
And you can't see in my back windows, so.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
But with that said, it is a glorious Tuesday. And again, thanks for everybody tuning in and watching with us. We have special guests with us today. We got Matt Campbell. He's one of the many, wordsmiths that we're going to be able to listen to on Saturday at from 11 to 1 p.m. but at the Magness Library. But he'll get into that a little bit later. And also, I'm thinking about it because I want to give a shout out to the Magness Library for hooking us up with some amazing Dr. Pepper photos. As we all know, me and Melody got a chance to go see Mr. Milner and some of the I call them the OGs that started the Dr. Pepper bottling company here in Warren County.
At the right time. It was
Mac and yes, and seeing Mr. Milner one more time was I was so excited because he's such a huge part of this community. Not only when you look at a scoreboard at a sports event or just the sign itself with the the Dr. Pepper signs and the drinks that are provided, a lot. And then like the fair, the fair had Dr. Pepper products.
Well, Main Street Live is they're one of the main sponsors. Mm-hmm. We've talked about this. And
fireworks
show. And all of that is going to go away, I'm afraid, because I don't see Dr. Pepper corporate giving two flips about our small little town.
Yeah.
Especially the way that our
I don't normally like talking negative, but I have to agree with you on that. I don't know though.
How it is. Walmart, You think Walmart cares about this small town? It's just more money to pay for the penthouse. It's just how it is. Which is why I like shopping companies. Small. Yeah. That's because, right now, I'm getting ready for Wonderland of Trees. Mm-hmm. I have not had a single business turn me down for a donation for Wonderland of Trees. They are always giving, and you guys have to understand, they get like 4-5 requests a week. It's exhausting, and they're a small business, and it's very hard for them to decide who to say yes to and who not to. And that's, there have been years where I've gotten a lot of no's, and there's been years I've gotten a lot of yeses. And if you get a no, come back the next year, because it's not that they don't want to support your business. It's just that moment they just can't. And Doug Milner, the Milner family, were the ones who could do that and were gracious to do that. Galligan Newman has been also great for Main Street Live. And these events, these things can't go on without these small businesses. So, this holiday season, their prices may be a little bit higher because they're not buying from China. But go support them. We've got
we have awesome businesses.
Not just downtown. We've got some in the plaza, Northgate Shopping Center. If you head out toward the fairgrounds, on the right-hand side, there is a business called Tack and Treasure. It's run by Zena Byrne. And it's an awesome shop. Look, y'all, I'm not into the whole Western look, and I don't own horses. They're pretty. I like talking to them. I like playing the music, but I'm just not a horse person. Yeah. But that whole shop is for people who are horse people.
That like the leather and the suede and the fringe. And I'm trying to think of all the terms right now because I was learning them.
Farm Girl's the same way.
Same.
We've got two great stores. And I know Zena kind of gets left out because she's out there. And Western Farm Girl, no, it's not Western Farm Girl. I keep doing that. I'm sorry. It's
she changed it, didn't she?
Mercantile West.
Mercantile West.
She combined her two businesses, but she's over there in the same shopping center as the WDG and the Sonic. Crouch House is now over there in the Northgate Shopping Center, also in a
Oh yeah,
business.
Bree has done a fabulous job of making that place into something.
I'm going to brag on Bree. My husband, as many of y'all know, we have our own business, Songbird Studio. This is one of our shirts that I designed. But when we got into sublimation, we didn't know what we were doing. We knew we didn't want to do vinyl because everybody and their brother was doing vinyl in this town. It was going to be too tough of a market to break into. But at that time, Bree was the only other person that we knew of that was doing sublimation. And so we went to her and we asked her, we said, we kind of want to do this. Can you give us any tips? She didn't just give us tips. She gave us the full lowdown. She told us, what to buy. She baby stepped us through that, knowing that we were going to be in competition with her. And I've tried not to step on her toes.
She loves healthy competition. That's what it's called.
Well, but it wasn't just that. She said, I don't see it as competition. I see it as two businesses that can support each other and raise each other up. And maybe
I agree on that.
Think like that. Yeah. I mean, it's just great.
If everybody had that same mentality, it would, I think the town would run like 150% right now.
And her stuff is different than ours. I've now at the point where I'm making our own designs. McMinnville Warren County Center Designs. We're one of the few in town that does McMinnville designs. We sell down at the Rustic Daisy. But even in the Rustic Daisy, the owner does sublimation also, but she does the bleached. We don't do the bleached. I'm highly allergic to bleach.
Yeah.
So we just don't do the bleached. And but anyway, so just go support your businesses.
Yeah.
Show them some love.
Show some love. And this is actually a snippet of in this week's newsletter, giving some love to the, just doing one article in the newsletter really does not justify what Doug Milner and his family have done for this community. Even naming the Milner Recreation Parks and Rec Center over there, that's still not enough to give back to the Milner family of all that they have done for this community. And knowing that they have ran the Dr. Pepper Bottling Company for over 59 years. He's had the company since 1965.
Yeah.
I believe that's what they told me when I called. And to know that that company has been in this community for decades and it has been locally owned for decades.
Yeah.
Speaks volume of someone. And that's why we felt like we should do the best story possible for him, for the community, and for the employees.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these employees have given have worked there since, I'm just going to say it, worked there since high school. Yeah. And they have built retirement on this. And to know that it has switched, there is a lot of, rumors, a lot of things going around, some gossip going around that people are leaving. People are having to reapply. We're hearing a lot of these things. I don't know if you guys are, but that's what we're hearing because that's one of the other hot topics here in Warren County is what's happening, what's going on with Dr. Pepper, what's happening to the employees at Dr. Pepper, and is Dr. Pepper still going to be community involved?
Yeah.
And we can't necessarily answer all those questions. We can just tell you what we hearsay right now because I don't know if it's concrete. But at the same time, in past performances when businesses have gone corporate, these big box stores, as I call them, 9 times out of 10, it is very hard to get community stuff involvement with big box companies. And that's just truth. And so we want to know how you feel, our listeners, about the Dr. Pepper Bottling Company switching hands. Do you see this as a good thing? Do you see it as a bad thing? Later on today, we might even do like another poll question like we did with the ice skating rink stuff. And I want to say kudos to, I'm glad that this is it the city, the county? Now I can't.
The city.
The city.
Talking about the ice skating rink?
Yes.
It is the city.
I'm glad that the city listened to everybody's issues and their thoughts on the ice skating rink being moved. I know that probably wasn't an easy thing for them to do, but I want to say from the bottom of my heart here at Warren First, we are so grateful that you're moving it back to downtown.
To be a part of that decision getting changed. I mean, we put up a poll question. We talked about it on the air. We had a great viewership, and I mean, Southern Standard got that ball rolling, and
kudos to them breaking the story on that.
I mean, it was great But the other thing that I am also concerned about with this being a small town and that being a smaller facility than maybe some of the other ones that the Dr. Pepper company has is if they're going to shut it all the way down and we're going to lose all those jobs.
I was wanting somebody, I will say that was the other big one is how long is Dr. Pepper that building's going to stay before it shuts down and moves to a bigger community like Murfreesboro or somewhere, or is it going to turn into instead of being a bottling company, they're just going to use it for storage for Dr. Pepper.
Right.
I've heard that before. But again, I've thought about reaching out. If y'all think we should reach out to the new owners, I am never opposed to emailing or calling somebody or knocking on their door.
Yes.
So we need to do it while we can, while we got Debbie and Lou still there and, all that to get that involvement. But with that said, the community is still thriving, still moving forward into this fall, winter wonderland of whatever. And with that said, a ton of events are going on right now. And starting off,
hang on, before we get to that, I want to say one other thing because we were talking about how the library was so gracious to allow us to use their photos.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know or maybe just got here to town, the library has an unimaginable amount.
I got to see it yesterday.
Of old photographs that they will sell you copies of at a very reasonable price. When we bought our home here, we've lived here since 2012. But we did not purchase our home until 2018. And I said, if we're going to live here, we're gonna be part of this community. And part of my vision for my home was to get photographs. And Cody Prince told me to go to the library, and I got to meet Miss Carol, who is
love Miss Carol. Thank you so much.
She's such a character like I am. She and I it's great. But I managed to she showed me all kinds, and I've got an incredible photo of downtown that came out of their archives. I've got multiple photos that I then took to the mitered frame and had Ken frame for me and hung up on my wall. And unfortunately, we don't have the mitered frame anymore.
I know,
but it's okay because he sells delicious honey now, and it's really
delicious.
Good. It is very
good. Local.
But if you are interested in some of the old photographs, either to frame or just to have, please go to the library, talk to Miss Carol. She will be glad to show you what they have. And every time I go there, I see more photos that I didn't know existed.
We saw maps of downtown back in the day.
It was so cool. Fun fact, Morford Street wasn't always called Morford Street.
Yeah.
I'll also tell you another fun fact.
I wanted to take a picture. I was there. I'm like, look what I found, honey.
So if you are going down Spring Street, there is an alleyway on the side of Denty Moore where Kimmy's Tea Room used to be.
Yep.
If you go onto the old maps, that alleyway has a name. It's called Skid Row.
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild. So we were the original Skid Row before the other Skid Row.
I'm just saying we had to start somewhere. We'll just claim it now.
I know. So, but I love little fun facts about this town. As I said, I wasn't born and raised here, but God willing, I will die here.
We had a hellacious amount of books from North Carolina.
Yeah, there was a bunch. And she started to tell us why, and then
we got sidetracked.
Yeah, we did, because it's very distracting down there, but it's so much fun. It's just full and rich with history. Brad and Carol do an incredible job. And there's also a genealogy department.
Which Brad was up there yesterday doing some work with some folks.
Cheryl, not Carol, Cheryl.
Cheryl.
So there's a genealogy department up there. The mummy hand used to be outside the door.
It's still at the second level.
They've moved it. Anyway,
it's gross.
The other genealogy department is run by the Warren County Historical Society. They have annual monthly meetings, but it's over in the admin building. But if you ever want to research your history, both of those are great.
Cheryl does a phenomenal job. She did it with Walker. We went all the way back to, I think it was our great grandparents.
Yeah.
And since we started this,
she's also got all the old yearbooks and stuff.
Yearbooks, obits, birth certificates.
If you want to see what Miss Phyllis Prater looks like,
the grave pictures, they have it all in there, and it's really neat. And
she's very knowledgeable.
And if you want to try to find somebody's grave, I think it's actually called findmygrave.com, and you type the name in, and it may be yours, may not, but. With that said, on we go, onward, upward. There is a lot of events going on this weekend, and I do want to post this while we're talking about them. So much going on. And again, I just put very few because we had an overwhelming stories this week in our newsletter.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get more news out and less events in this one because there was very important things to talk about and I didn't want to miss them. But with that said, like right here, Matt's going to talk to you about Author's Day with us. That's this weekend, as well as at the Viola Pizza Company. There is a Janice Lynn book signing that's going to be happening in
They
Viola.
did this last year too, and it was really, really fun.
It was
when
neat.
I heard, I missed it.
And then, of course, Allison in Wonderland. It's all about the theatricals and the authors this weekend.
My favorite.
And it's a kids musical.
Yes.
For a production that's presented by Warren Arts. It's on the 15th, 16th, and 17th.
Let me tell you, I went to the rehearsal on Saturday. I swung in there because a lot of my theater kids are in that.
Yeah.
And the costumes are incredible.
Yes.
Holy smokes. It was great. I'm going to go in tonight. This is their final dress rehearsal because they actually have two school shows
coming up
with this production as well as the public shows. So I'm going to get to go in tonight and watch the whole thing and get to see the whole shebang. Allie Morton's just poured her heart and soul into this.
She's done a phenomenal job.
Kathy Elam. Oh, I probably just mispronounced her last name, but she's the one who did the costumes. Sarah, her daughter, has been, which Sarah's last name just escaped me also, but she's also been a big part of this. Yeah. And they do a lot with the Warren Art Productions, and they are just
they're involved.
Yeah, they're
involved in this community, and they're involved in these kids. And
but let me tell you something. Kathy's in charge of the costumes. You know they're going to be good. She is so talented. Her vision just blows my mind.
Yeah.
But definitely go and see it. It's this weekend, the 15th and the 16th, Friday, Saturday at 7 p.m. And then you can catch a matinee Sunday at 2. Go to church, grab you a bite to eat, Cumberland biscuit, and then go get the show. I mean, you could make a whole day of it.
Before we move on, I want to say thanks to Miss Patricia Basham. She has just unloaded some truth spills this morning. So sorry that Doug Milner's health caused the necessity for him to retire. Dr. Pepper corporate, I can't even say it corporate required they get first chance to buy. It will not be the same. Certain jobs are eliminated due to changes, but the employees have had a wonderful job while it lasted. It's so sad. And I would have to
keep Miss Pat
100% agree. That's kind of the same things that we heard, but in a nutshell. Yeah. And I appreciate you sending me that. Also going on, not this weekend, but the following weekend, I want to give some love to our local artists, August Lowe's and the Porch Jackers. They're going to be at the Park Theater next Friday at 7:30 p.m. I'm going to try to get everybody in and do an interview that's going to be pre-recorded. I'm trying to get together at night because a lot of the people that's in the band don't get off work till after 5:30.
Yeah, that's next Saturday, right?
Next Friday.
I knew I wasn't going to be able to be there, which hurts my heart.
Yeah, everybody's getting busy with the holidays coming up.
We got Wonderland of Trees that whole week, and I've got Beth that night. Maybe I can slip away. I don't know.
Maybe you can try. Just try. Just say we'll try.
Try.
But also with that, this weekend going on, because the Guys and Dolls in Cannon County Art Center, shout out to Beth and them at the Cannon County Art Center. They do a phenomenal job with their plays, and they're doing it's called Guys and Dolls. It's going to be their last one before the holiday. So if you want to check it out, I do have tickets. Me and my son are going to go to the 17th showing, and it is going to be so exciting. He's into that stuff right now. So make sure you do that.
To be into.
And then also the White Oak Holiday Bazaar. It's a handmade holiday market that's at the Cannon County Art Center as well. It's November the 30th through December the 20th. And so if you want any more details, just let me know. Also, of course, Wonderland of Trees is coming up. Miss Melody knows all about that.
I do want to say one thing real quick.
Yeah.
We are setting up this week. Those beta kids were awesome on Sunday. we're getting old. Okay. I know I don't look old on the outside, but my inside's like 80. Okay. We're getting at the point where it's just really hard on our bodies. And we had 4 beta kids come up, and then my son's girlfriend showed up, and helped us. And boy, it was a life changer. We got further in that first day than we ever have before.
That's great.
And I look forward to having back to help us take everything down.
Makes a lot of difference.
And they were great. They were well mannered. They listened. It was wonderful.
And you're looking for more trees, right?
Yes.
Donate a tree, guys. They need more trees.
So we are still setting up. But trees normally start coming in Thursday, Friday. We are still looking for trees. So for those of you who are like, well, what is this? Let me just give you a brief summation.
Yeah.
Caring Hearts United, which assists hospice patients in our area. We do not work directly with we work indirectly with the hospice units.
Yeah.
Because of HIPAA laws, we don't know who we're helping, but the hospice units reach out to us and say, we have somebody in need of a gas card to get to appointments.
Socks, wash rags, whatever.
Groceries. And we do our best to help. And then we also do gift baskets 5 times a year. We're still getting our Thanksgiving baskets out. We're working our bags, working on our Christmas. And this is our biggest fundraiser. And what it is that individuals, churches, nonprofits, local businesses donate a fully decorated tree. You don't have to decorate it beforehand. You can come decorate it at the mall after you set it up, but just fully decorate the tree, whatever way, fashion you want. It can be in memory of somebody.
Zip tie the ornaments on it.
Yes, you have to make sure that you're not just hanging the ornaments.
Twisty ties.
You can just take the ornament hook and just make sure it's attached. I'm going to get to the reason why in a minute, but you can do it in memory of somebody. If you want to do one in memory of Phyllis Prater or Abby, the young lady who just died.
You could do a movie themed tree where it's got like all movies in it, or like popcorn and a gift card to a movie thing.
Yes,
because you could go to the 3-star mall and get those.
Yeah,
put them all over the tree.
Any of that is awesome. But we put them out. They've got all week to bid on those trees, and you can get a spotter. You don't have to keep coming back. Say, hey, I really want that tree. I'm willing to bid this much. If somebody outbids me on that, can you call me and we can talk about it, or can you just bump up my bid until that? And we will. They call you. Yes, we will call you. Sometimes we got 2 of us calling. It's wild, but. At the end of the week on Saturday, next week on Saturday at 8 p.m., we pull the sheets. Whoever's got the highest bid, we call you. You come pay for your tree. We take that furniture saran wrap. We fully wrap the tree, decorated, and you just take it home, cut it off, and boom, you've got Christmas. Easy peasy. The holidays are busy.
Fluff it, go.
Yeah,
that's what I did last year.
It's great for office. If you've got an office that you want a tree in, if you want it in your house, maybe you've got a mom who's getting up there in age and she just can't get the decorations down from the attic, but she really wants to see a Christmas tree. Yes, get her a tree.
Get her a tree.
And it goes and it helps people in our area, and it's great. But we are still needing trees. So if you have the time this week to be able to decorate somebody, or if you have a team that could help you decorate, there is an application, but you can get that when you come bring your tree on Thursday or Friday. We can always make room, but please bring us more trees.
Please.
Yes.
They're desperate.
Be very, very appreciative. But that all starts next week. We've got a trivia night. We've got a karaoke night. The AG family is coming back. Beth Harris is coming back. Santa will be there Saturday during the day. There's a bake shop. There's a Wonderland store. We have taken over the old Cato's, y'all.
I can't wait. I bet it's going to be great.
It's massive. We're just like, do we have enough stuff for that? So, I mean, if you want to donate stuff for the store, we'll take that too.
Yeah.
Any of that will just go toward the mission and go toward helping us, and we will forever be grateful. So
there you go. Now, with that said, continuing on with helping people out and lifting people's spirits up, we have our special guest.
Out of the seat and let him have them.
Yes, we have Mr. Matt Campbell with us today. Come on in, Matt.
Morning, everybody.
With that said, Matt Campbell is one of many authors that's going to be showcasing his talent this Saturday at the Magness Library from 11 to 1 p.m. So explain, is this your first time attending this event, Matt?
This is, I'll be promoting my first book, a collection of poems I've written over the past several years.
Okay. And when you say past several years, I mean, is writing a book about poems, was that something you've always wanted to do? Like, what made you start doing this? Because did you just wake up one morning and be like, Matt, I got poems in my head. Let's just write them out. Let's see what happens.
It's kind of a funny story. It actually started with a friend's request for a Christmas gift.
Okay.
Several years back, a friend asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I said nothing in particular. I asked her what she wanted, and she said, I've really gotten a fan of the notes you've left over the years whenever you drop things off for me. I would like an original poem from you.
Oh, okay.
And that started with one poem initially for her, but I showed it to other readers, and they became interested. And then last year, I followed that up with 3 separate poems for everyone that I sent out as email attachments, kind of an electronic Christmas card. That was a hit.
Yeah.
To such a degree that a friend from church, from a Bible study I attend on Thursday mornings, said, "Matt, I would like to collect your poems." And we collected the poems I've written for the past several years. There's some bonus content, an author's note at the beginning, and a note at the end, some illustrations. And the book came out several weeks ago. We're waiting on a second printing to come in. Should be in by Saturday.
Okay. And are you going to be selling it? How does that local authors event on Saturday work? I've never been to one. This will be my first.
Well, there's several authors from the area. We have two ladies one of which has her first novel, the other which has a wide variety of novels. We have 2 folks that look like they're children's authors for a wide variety of ages, both young adults and younger readers. And they will be selling their books. Yes.
Awesome. And then I guess if you also want your autograph, you're going to give it as well, like you did for us.
I would be absolutely delighted to. Yes.
Now, is this going to be the first book of many from you? Now that you got bit by the bug, I feel like.
I'm kind of torn.
Yeah.
I would like to do it. I would like to keep going, writing all sorts of things. I've got ideas for more poems, a couple of short stories. But at the same time, part of me is like, just have this be the one book, but keep expanding it as I keep going, and kind of have it being like, for me, what Leaves the Grass was for Walt Whitman, where he would publish subsequent editions with new poems.
Yeah.
And all of his stuff was ultimately collected under the collection title Leaves of Grass.
Yeah.
I mean, the final edition was referred to as the deathbed edition. He worked on it up until he died. It was kind of his definitive statement of what he did with his life.
Yeah. Okay. And have you always just, since you could remember, just sit down and like pick up a pen and just write what you were thinking? Is that like something you've always done?
In a lot of different ways, yes. Not necessarily poems. There's been short stories. There's been poems. There's been dream journals. There's been letters, journal entries.
Yeah. And would you
helps me organize my thoughts and pursue them?
I get it. Yeah. And with that said, you said you weren't going to be the only one. And, is this the first time though that the local authors, they do this at the library? Do you know how many years they've done this in years past?
This is the 3rd annual local authors event.
Okay. And is there going to be any drinks or refreshments? Do you know?
I believe there will be light refreshments, yes.
And then when they go in the library, where do you meet?
Oh, that will be upstairs in the auditorium, the main foyer, just before you get
with the piano, the room with the piano. I know that room. I love that room. That's a good little room. And if anybody has not visited the Magness Library, you really need to. Anything from not just checking out the cool local authors, but what the library offers, because it is so well kept and organized and clean. And Miss Carol, Brad, who else is out there? I'm going to forget somebody.
There's Marissa Chapman,
Cheryl. Like I'm going to include all the genealogy people, all of them. They really, truly do a phenomenal job keeping a piece of history here. And a lot of people that don't know this, which I think super cool, is in the second level of the library, because originally that house, the Magness Library, was Mr. Magness's house, like the top level was. And so he has his bathroom and everything, and the bathroom is still intact, with the cool shower bars and everything like back in the heyday, because Miss Cheryl was telling me how tall Mr. Magnus was. Like, he was a tall man. And so they had to make his shower a special shower because of that. And I just think stuff like that's neat. Like, if we don't tell our kids about the history of what's going on or talk about events like this to maybe see if that's what they're into, you're never going to know.
If I could out for a note.
Yeah.
One of my fellow parishioners of First United Methodist is a retired minister who's preaching among other places, New Orleans, and in the parishes around New Orleans. And he has said repeatedly that Magness Library is one of the most, if not the most, beautiful facility he has seen as a library in a town this size.
Really?
Yes, I mean, the building is just really well maintained. It's really well kept up. I mean, the lighting fixtures alone are beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Everything. So, with that said, did you want to read one of your poems? Did you bring a book?
I did not bring a book.
Ah!
However, miracle of modern technology. I do have my phone, and
Okay.
and I can access the sent emails that I have sent.
Okay.
And pull up one of the poems if anyone.
And we also shared on our Facebook page, Holly Cox. She videotaped you the other night, Saturday night, reading some of your poems at the Cumberland Biscuit Company.
Yes.
So it's like a little teaser or trailer.
Holly's been a friend for several years. I will be sharing that. I'll be sharing that post to the chatter page. It's available also on Warren First page.
Yep.
So if anyone would like a bit of a teaser to preview the poems to see if it's something you would want to pick up, feel free to do so. I don't like the idea of people making uninformed decisions.
Yeah.
Where my work is concerned, I would like the idea of you liking my work.
Yeah. And then if you want to see all the other authors that are going to be there that night, you can always go to the Magness Library's Facebook page. They each individually got a little post for each of them. And it goes all the way back to, I want to say October, sometime mid-October.
Yes, early October.
Yeah.
As I said, there's a lady named Jo Cook. She'll be offering looks like a wide variety of works in multiple different genres. There's a lady named Mindy Boston who will be offering what looks like her first work, and a gentleman named C. Rick Villa, who's a children's author, and a lady named Tricia Cundiff, who also appears to be a children's and young adult author along the lines of R.L. Stine, offering work. Her work is more Christian fiction, but it's the equivalent of both Goosebumps and Fear Street, where you had works for multiple reader levels.
Wow. Look at your head full of knowledge.
And if I could,
yeah,
I would like to offer one of the newer poems called Cornerstone.
Okay.
It was written at the Men's Emmaus retreat at First United Methodist Church in early September.
Okay.
Right. This poem is titled Cornerstone. Cornerstone. A man falls from grace the same way he goes broke, gradually, then suddenly, stumbling block after stumbling block until finally rock bottom. But foundations lay at the bottom. Stumbling blocks are brick forged from chaff and fire, refined, and the stones rejected by the builders of the world become the cornerstones of churches, and against them the gates of hell cannot and will not prevail.
There you go. Love it.
Thank you.
I just, again, I can never put pen to paper. It's always up here, and I'll do better like talking about it. So I always have to record my stuff. I can't do it. That is a talent. Everybody's like, what is your talent? Everybody has some type of talent. You just got to find it. And like, whether it's pen to paper and writing your thoughts in your dream journal or your short stories, if it's coming out on a podcast and not afraid to talk, there's always something for everybody. Everybody has a talent. You just got to be willing to find it and to go with it. Because I know, starting my podcast, I had some stumbling blocks and I got nervous and scared. And I bet when you started writing, you're like, when that guy came up to be like, well, gather all your poems, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Or am I sure about this? Like, what am I getting into?
It's been a little nerve-wracking the first few weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that. You're happy about what you're doing, but at the same time, you're like, I don't know if this is going to work. That's what I think in my head. Like, is this right?
everybody has different strengths and weaknesses. There are illustrations that go along with the poems. I did those myself, but I am not very confident in my ability to draw. People seem to like them, but I'm in the minority, but they are in the majority as far as I'm concerned. But I myself am not a fan of my own drawings.
Well, there you go. Well, Matt, it was so great for you to come on my show today. Thank you so much for taking the time and coming out and hanging out with us. And I am looking forward to seeing you guys on Saturday.
Thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Molly.
We have another special guest.
I noticed. I was like, who did you wrangle up in here? Come on, Joseph.
What's up?
I know. I'm like, Joe's finally over
I
here.
was talking to Brian Carr, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, she said she sees you come into work, and while she's doing her show, I was like, and she's like, you need to just hop over there. I was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So,
So what brings you
I
here
saw
today?
your car out here today,
Yeah.
so I was like, yeah.
I'm here.
Oh, I mean, just everything we got going at the Park Theater.
Here you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You want a cheat sheet?
I'll need a cheat sheet. I need to go deeper than this because we're about to, or we've done an announcement of our spring schedule, which is still. We're still adding to it right now, but yeah, I mean, the rest of the year's looking great. Of course, we've got Alice in Wonderland Jr. this weekend. It's going to be a great show. I saw it last night for the first time. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably the best prepared play we've had coming in on a Monday.
Really?
Like sometimes, everybody comes in on the Monday of Tech Week, and you're learning how to work the room.
Right.
But man, those kids came in
on point.
They got through the whole thing the first go. It was great. I was super impressed with them. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then of course our local bands are coming in.
The first concert in the Local Connection series. It's going to be great. Two great bands, August Lows and the Porch Jackers. They're two bands with a I would call them rock bands, but they both have kind of a Southern flair to them.
They do.
An Americana kind of.
I call it Southern Fried instead of flair because I think it's like a Southern Fried rock version.
Yeah. Both great bands. It's going to be a great night. We're really, the Park Theater, in its inception, in the renovation was to get locals on stage and to really drive home arts in our community and from our community.
That's correct.
So yeah, we're stoked to have them there. I think it's going to be a great show. Going to be a full night. It's going to be two solid bands, and they're each going to do an hour piece. And maybe they do something together. Yeah, that's what I always suggest.
I think they might.
I think they might.
I'm trying to get an interview with everybody right now, but I'm waiting. I haven't heard back from you, Josh.
Yeah.
Call me. I call you out on the show.
Promote the show. It's going to be great.
It is.
And then, of course, a week from Saturday, Daryl Worley. It's going to be. That's going to be a great show.
And this isn't his first time here. I don't think, not in Warren County.
Let's see.
Wasn't he at the fair?
I feel like he's maybe been at the fair before.
Like 4 or 5 years ago.
The fair
it's been a while.
Playing the fair is kind of like playing the six. You're like, oh yeah, that person played there back in the day,
Yeah.
So but Daryl Worley's going to be here. That's going to be a great show. I've never actually seen him live, but everybody I've talked to says
it's great.
And it's an acoustic show.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really intimate and a lot of storytelling. Everybody says that he just brings them in. Like he just
I love that.
When he's there, he really just kind of he brings the audience in. And then this 70s jukebox countdown, that's going to be another cool show. The Monday before Thanksgiving. What do you got going on? Nothing.
Except my kickoff party, but you're fine.
Okay.
I'll get into it.
We'll
piggyback.
We'll piggyback. We'll join the effort here.
And then I saw when I shared y'all's post on the 70s jukebox, oh my gosh, his mind just slipped me. Dukes of Hazzard guy. Oh my gosh. John Snyder was helping promote it, and I didn't know if he's in it.
He's not in it.
He's just helping promote it.
I think he might have some connection. It might be somebody he's related to who's in the group.
Oh, that would make sense.
I might be making that up.
I thought about texting him and seeing if he wanted to come on.
I do believe that there's a connection there, and there's a McMinnville connection there too.
Okay.
I cannot remember one of the girls in it is from McMinnville. So.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, that should be a great show. They and actually that was a show they had to move, and they had a spot in Williamson County that they couldn't get the room for the day that they needed it, and they looked around, they saw us, and they called us, and
I love that, and that's why the park. Another reason why the park theater's there. If somebody needs it, it's available.
I think it's going to be a great show. Then of course Shenandoah.
Always a classic to come in town.
Shenandoah, Unfortunately, I missed the show last year because my brother was getting married. So that's why. But I'm going to be there.
Unfortunately,
unfortunately, I missed it. Not unfortunate, my brother got married. No, we're not.
Congratulations, bro.
Yeah. But and then something that we actually don't have on here. Well, we've got two things coming in. Actually, well, we got three shows in December. We've got the first weekend right after the Christmas parade. I think I shouldn't say right after. It's 6 o'clock. So after the Christmas parade, when you're in the Spirit, when you're downtown, free show. Silver and Gold Band going to come down here, play all those.
Y'all have not heard the Silver and Gold Band. You've really missed out.
I want to rename them to the McMinnville Philharmonic, but no, but we love the Silver and Gold Band. We just had them for the Veterans Day program. They killed it. They're like a human jukebox, man. Yeah. They're great.
Talk about that Sunday. If you missed, Chris's birthday was that day, and so we had his thing. But talk about it because I've heard nothing but great things.
The Veterans Day program is great. It was, it's a program that has taken a couple of different shapes over the year, been in a couple of different locations. It ended up at the Park Theater, and in the last 2-3 years, we've really kind of honed it in. We've gotten a format for it
that works.
Yeah, it's a lot of community groups. It's a lot of moving parts. That's what I always say about it. It's not the most complex, or the most difficult show to put on. No. But it's a lot of moving parts. A lot of community groups between the Silver and Gold Band, the Combined Color Guard, the JROTC,
right. The choir.
Yeah, the choir. Well, yeah,
the select choir.
Yeah. And it's so it's a lot of people to get in there and get them all working on the same page, but it's a great.
It turns out great every time.
Event. And of course we had guy who was on here with you the other day.
Brian
Cork. I don't want to say
he was last new, he said, right?
I don't want to say he stole the show, but he was great. He came in, he did something that we've never done before.
What did he do?
He wanted crowd participation. So he got up there and he led the audience a cappella in it was a medley of patriotic songs. It was God Bless America, My Country 'Tis of Thee, and I cannot remember what the other one was, but it was great. He had everybody standing up, singing.
Participating. Brian does a great job.
It literally got people up and got their blood flowing, let you know that they were alive. And then we had the Brigadier General who was doing the keynote speak. It was great. Yeah. John Flanders helped get him over there and helped organize the whole event. Yeah. It's a great event, and it's got something we're gonna keep doing.
And piggybacking on great events, I heard nothing but great things about Tuesday night. I know that it was hosted on election night. Yeah. I know that it was hosted by the Republican Party, but it was sponsored by a ton of local businesses here in town, and it was opened to the public, to everyone, whether you're Republican, Democratic, or Independent. And I think how neat would it be if everybody could get together in one spot and do a huge watch party?
The way I described that event is it was a celebration of it being over. That was the way.
I like that too.
That was the way. Brian Carr once again was he was kind of our point person on that one. And that was the way. At the end, me and Brian were both like, it's kind of ready for this to be over. We're going to be celebrating it's over. But no, everybody was there. Everybody behaved. Everybody had a good time.
Yeah. I heard there were different parties there. Everybody, some wore Trump stuff, some wore Harris stuff. It was like a good mix of stuff.
Yeah. I wasn't really paying attention to everybody's attire, but like I said, it was a good event. Everybody who was there was positive, and it was, it turned out to be a great event.
And I think, speaking on behalf of the community, I really would love it if we did one watch party all together. Boom, right there. I think it'd be great.
We're always up for a watch party. We do.
I heard. Yeah, Brian was made jokes about how late y'all are going to be able to stay open.
Yeah.
But 10 o'clock was the cutoff.
Yeah, we weren't sure. What way it was looking. That we would be able to get much as far as information goes. We got the local elections in. That was great.
Yeah.
We were able. It was great being able to watch Brian Kell and Rob Nunley do a great job with that coverage on the big screen. It was it was good. It was a great event. But yeah, we're always up for a watch party if it's viable. We've done We've done some games. We did the Stanley Cup back in the day.
Yeah.
Depending on what
you've done the 85th birthday, celebrating 85 years in business.
That was a great event.
The Park Theater can be used for so many things: wedding receptions, weddings. I mean,
Beauty pageants.
Beauty pageants.
Speaking of late nights at the Park Theater, are we doing a New Year's Eve party again?
Fingers crossed. We're hoping to bring that one back.
You heard it here. We're hoping.
Yeah, we're hoping.
Ain't no party like a Joe Harvey New Year.
Oh, I know. If you have not heard Joe Harvey and his band, first of all, this man is a man of many talents.
Well,
and he goes under the radar a lot.
Showed up, and now that I know there's 3.
Oh gosh,
I'm not local. There's 3 that can sing. I swear, y'all need to do I've said it. Y'all need to do a Hanson cover.
Could you do one? That would be so hilarious. Do you know how many girls my age would be like, oh my God?
No, Mark is of Mbop age. Me and Kevin we kind of missed the Mbop train.
You could be Isaac.
Yeah.
You could be the Hanson Isaac. I know Taylor, Isaac, and I can't, Zach. Yeah. Zach is the young one, Isaac's the older one, and Taylor is the middle good looking.
I think we need to do an cover with
I did go to 2 concerts to the Hanson. I saw Hanson twice.
Wow. The Hardy Boys.
They're great.
It could be a whole album. Great.
I want to say in defense, and I know I go off key when I talk about this, but Hanson, even though they were very popular with the Bop, they're really talented artists, just like anybody else. The acoustic sets I've seen, if you just look at them, they're just very talented, and some of them are still writing songs for people. You just don't know.
I love that they've continued on with it. Like like I said, I wasn't in their demographic back in the day, but I've seen, where they're posting current performances, and it's like, well, hey, why to not just like cast away and be ashamed of where you come from, like a lot of teen idols do.
And they're
not ashamed of it. They're like, that's part of our past, and we're going to keep up. They continue to be an artist, and I think that's really cool.
The part, the lyrics are actually really got a good message. If you get past
because they were teenagers when they wrote that song. What else are they going to say, you know?
Yep.
But with that said, again, if you want to see any of these events that Joe is talking about, you can go to the website.
McMinnvilleParkTheater.com. Always come to our website. Come through our website. Even as small of a venue as we are, there are some third-party ticketing companies. They're they're bots. You don't want to go through them. Come through our, go follow the links on our page. Go to the ticket page, and let's look for your event. And it's even if we're not doing the ticketing, we always put the link directly to the person who is doing the ticketing. Because, like I said, I've had people come up like, oh man, I looked online and there was a $30 markup per ticket, and I was like, that's ridiculous. There's no reason for that. We
come local, buy local first. Buy local first.
If you Google McMinnville Park Theater, it'll send you to us. But McMinnvilleParkTheater.com, always get there.
Yeah.
But there was a few more shows that I did want to.
That's not on this list.
January 11th, we're having the return of Ultimate Oldies.
Those are so good.
Based out of one of those. Manchester, Tullahoma is kind of their home base, but they've been down here many times, and they always put on a great show.
And it's always almost sold out or sold out, so you gotta get the tickets early.
They always play the songs you love. They always play those songs you love. And then that's the only one I wanted to be sure to get that one in there. But I don't want to get any. Actually, no, I can't do 2 more. I'll do 2 more.
Okay.
This is February.
Okay.
It's going to be February 14th.
Okay.
Ken and Drew from Sister Hazel.
Really?
That's going to be another acoustic show.
Valentine's party.
Yeah, exactly. Sister Hazel. Yes, the huge hit from back in the day.
Yeah,
I saw them on TikTok.
Yeah, they're great.
Thinking to their own song.
Try to get Hanson and Hazel together. Sister Hazel and Hanson, and I'm there. I'm sold.
Right?
Sister Hazel. It's one of those groups that they love performing live. They're road dogs, and they've kept with it, and they're still up to snuff. They're just like the band you used to. You grew up with, and the band used to skip out on your college exams to go see at the small club.
I wonder why you use that example, Joe.
No, they're a great band. And then the next night, actually, February 15th, Once again, another returning act. Forever Abbey Road. We're going to have. It's going to be once again Valentine's Day weekend. All You Need Is Love. Valentine's Day weekend.
If you have not seen Forever Abbey Road, that is the best Beatles cover band. Ever.
And they're doing all the love songs. That's because it's Valentine's Day weekend. They're going to do all the love songs. So yeah, I mean, as far as a band with great love songs, I don't know if you can think of one that's better than that. I mean, it's the Beatles. It's the Beatles. So we're super excited to have them back. John and that group they're so great to work with. Yeah. They always put on a great show.
They do. And as always, too, I say this all the time, you and Ashley are always welcome to walk over.
We need to. I swear we're just busy.
You know the reason I have this? I took it off somebody's wall. And I was like, it's mine. It's mine now. Can I have that?
We'll get more to you. And we're we're going to expand on this a lot. We've got a lot of family-friendly shows that are coming. Kids, like bring your kids.
Sing Along with Santa. That's coming up.
We got to. Look at our ADHD just going out the left field. That's December 7th. I want to make
second Saturday.
The second Saturday. I'm going to get that. I think
you're right. It's the 7th
Saturday in December.
Nope. December 14th.
14th.
The 7th. The 7th is going to be Silver and Gold Band.
That's right. He already said that.
Because that's right after
that's second Saturday. So 14th is second Saturday.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. We were the 7th. Yeah, man. We're
ADD. I do want to get you and your beautiful wife, whose name just left my head. Samantha. Was going Stephanie. I knew that wasn't it. No. And your beautiful.
You got there with the S.
I know. It's too much. And your beautiful daughter, Lily, they just took a cruise to Greece.
Yes, we got to get together on that
to get that covered.
I think we should do it while they're off of school.
It was a trip that we did with with the First United Methodist Church down here. It was the Journeys of Paul. So it was a great trip. It was a Mediterranean cruise. We started in Rome. We literally left the airport and went to the Colosseum. So it was pretty wild. So it was.
Can't wait.
But yeah.
And Lily is so into the mythology and all of that. So this was a dream trip for her.
Well, then she needs to come during when they're off on the. You know what? Let's already. We can do it on the 26th of November.
And they're off. Okay.
They're off.
Yeah, we can probably make that work.
Because the 25th, I'm busy.
She'll blow you away with her knowledge of Greek mythology. It's wild. I love talking.
Okay, and then we can spend all day with her on it. Why not? Yeah. But anything else before I let you go?
We can't leave out Santa. So the 7th is that's the same weekend as the Christmas parade, and right afterwards the free concert for Silver and Gold. Right. But the next weekend, the second Saturday is the 14th.
And Santa's coming to town.
And we're going to have 2 shows. I think we're going to do a 3:00 and a 6:00 show.
Perfect.
We're Sing Along with Santa. Last year was awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
They do an incredible job.
It's a great job. And man, you'd have thought Elvis had entered the building. Those kids lose their mind when Santa comes in the room. It was awesome. It was
a little terrifying.
Did you let the kids go as close as they can?
They're up, they're dancing. Yeah,
it was insane. I was there for the 2 school shows, and I have misophonia and other. So I had to put my earbuds in because I was like, it was like being at a rock concert. Those kids,
wow,
because Santa was already out, and then the Grinch came out, and that was it.
Yes,
that was it. And and the Grinch has new knees or new body parts this year.
I think the Grinch might be a little more mobile this year.
Yes, if we're I don't even know if we got the Grinch coming back, but yeah, it was incredible.
So make sure all these dates we're looking up. It's on their calendar, on their website. Yep. Look it up. If you don't know about it or you're having issues about it, you can call them. You can call us. We've been
931-506 ARTS.
Yeah.
506 ARTS.
And then we've been
ARTS.
And then
4-letter words.
You're killing me today. We're still recuperating from everything. We're still on air.
2787. 506-2787.
Yeah. But with that said, thank you so much for coming in.
No problem. I'm going to do better about keeping an eye out for your when your car's over here, and I'll just drop it.
First off, I'm not a morning person. Yeah. I know you're not, and I know Ashley. I know Ashley's not a morning person. Yeah. And well, of course you do. The thing about working at the Park Theater is they open up a little bit later because they stay open later. Yeah. That's just how it is, and that's fine.
We were there late into the evening last night for a rehearsal. So
and you're going to be there again probably tonight.
Yep. All week. Yes. Alice in Wonderland Jr. this weekend.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you guys for having me. Y'all have a good one. Y'all have a great day.
Oh, you too. Come on, Melody.
Before we sign off, I've got 2 more things we need to talk about.
Okay.
We didn't put this in the newsletter because, as she said, it was a very good newsletter. We've got a lot going on, but we can almost 100% guarantee that this is fact. I've heard this for numerous people, and the fact that there's now a green roof on the building pretty much says yes. But it would appear, yes, it would appear that for a while now, everybody's been asking us what is going on, who's moving in next to Harbor Freight, and we have tried and tried and tried.
We have finally
cracked the code this weekend. It appears our Dollar Tree, or our $1.25 tree at this point, is moving out of the mall area and over to Harbor Freight.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
Yes, so that appears to be what's going on.
And then the other thing we're going to piggyback on that we kind of talked about that is in the newsletter, I'm going to talk with our Wendy's, but I saw a story pop up just randomly that over 150 Wendy's locations are going to be closing down.
Yeah.
Not all of them. I don't know if ours is, but they said the reason they're doing the shutdowns is because they're going to start rebuilding better ones.
Yeah.
So it's not that I don't know if we're losing a ton of Wendy's and they're never coming back, but they want to revamp a lot of stores and things like that. In order to do that, you have to, unfortunately, shut it down and remodel. And I'm curious if one of ours is going to be that. And I'm going to go there this week and be like, hey, have you heard
can get some information?
Some deets.
So I wanted to come on here because, as you know, Trump is slowly but surely building his cabinet.
Yes.
We had already confirmed that we have our first female chief of staff. Now he has...
Pause for a sec. Go ahead.
Oh, now he has found his border czar, who is going to be Tom... Homan. This is a critical job because it includes responsibility for Trump's mass deportations of millions of undocumented migrants, which was a central campaign pledge. We're not saying he's going to deport everybody out. Come, I was watching a video, come through the proper channels. It's fine. Yeah. But he is a former police officer. He was acting director of ICE during his first administration. This guy is tough as nails.
Which you have to be.
Right.
In that
That's a tough position.
And he's not supposed to be a likable person.
No. And he's a former New York cop. And if that doesn't say,
there you go.
Tough as nails. Yeah. But Elise Stefanik.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Not from here, I'm thinking. Has been offered the UN ambassador job.
Okay.
From what I can see, she's not accepted it.
But she's been offered.
Yes.
And that's another female in his cabinet.
That's another female in his cabinet who also pulls no punches and does whatever she needs to do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lee Zeldin, a New York congressman, has agreed to lead the EPA.
Oh, wow.
But the Senate will still need to confirm that appointment. So he has agreed to take it. Trump said, yes, I want him. Now that's a job.
They're just doing the process and procedures for his cabinet.
So he'll be in charge of tackling America's climate policy.
Which is one of the big talks that presidents get all the time besides immigration and things.
It is being rumored that Linda McMahon is going to be the Commerce Secretary.
What?
Yes, she was already a part of his group the first time around.
Is that the same? Is that Vince McMahon?
Yes, that is, and that's a surprising role considering how much hot water Vince McMahon is in now.
My facial expression.
I know. But apparently that's not confirmed, but that's what they're saying.
It's a rumor.
She was the small business administrator during his first term, which is a great role for her. That woman knows how to run a business.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Lord, being married to Vince all those years, that should qualify you for something.
Enough. Yes.
Anyway, but that's rumored. Let me see. Okay, so Robert Kennedy Jr. This has been swirling around.
Been swirling.
He is an environmental lawyer by trade. But he is on the short list to run the Health and Human Services Department.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because that's what he was talking about wanting to do.
Yes. It's kind of like a public health czar. Then he'll end up going, I think we talked about this. It's hard for me to remember, but then he'll be going after, the companies, making these vaccines to make sure that we're not being poisoned or being given untested vaccines that have not gone through human trials before being administered to the public.
He's going to make sure they're going through the proper channels.
Also, he will be digging into what is being put into the food before it's given to humans, to the humans, and to Americans.
We were actually, I was talking with one of the teachers yesterday at Bobby Ray, and she was I asked her if she was a Republican and she's a Democrat, and she's actually excited about if Robert Kennedy gets
I think that'll be a great role.
Talking about the food, because with the kids and the health concerns and making sure just kids are eating right and things like that. And becoming in Tennessee, we are known as an obese state.
Well,
and it's something that's in the food.
Well, that's part of it. But I will say this, as having somebody who did have to rely on food stamps for a number of years, here's the problem. Government benefits are great, but it's not enough to survive on. So you still have to budget. You're not given free reign of any grocery store. And
you have to get certain things on the list, right?
A salad, health food costs way more than the other food. It's a necessity.
That's why you always go and buy the quicker instant stuff over
because
the
it's just cheaper.
Instead of buying potatoes where you got to boil and mash, you buy the $1 bag instant Idaho potatoes, which is not the healthier choice,
but it's the more
easier, more affordable choice.
Michelle Obama tried, and God bless her.
I loved it when she was doing her thing.
Well, she was, she did this whole health foods in the schools thing. But the problem is if these kids aren't used to eating apples and oranges and things like that at home, they're sure not going to eat it at school because it's not what they're used to. Yeah. And I mean, time and time again, I would go into these schools after lunch hour and you'd see whole apples and whole oranges in the garbage can because these kids are like, what is this? What do I do with this? And they chuck it because all they're used to is eating the junk food because that's what mom and dad can afford. Right. There needs to be a flip-flop there.
I would say the same thing.
Yes. So, so Mike Waltz is rumored to be the next national security advisor.
Okay.
That is also not confirmed. This is where I have a small concern. This is what started this. She was given this role. I don't think she's accepted it.
Okay.
But Christy Nome is supposed to be Homeland Security. This is the governor of South Carolina. This is also the woman who killed her dog and bragged about it in her book. I'm almost positive.
Oh.
And so this is where I'm kind of like, really? What does she know about national security? I mean, I don't know.
Under there?
I'm just concerned. That one, I'm a little concerned. She will work closely with Tom Homan.
Maybe just it goes back to what I said. Maybe having a female and a man, both sides to try to.
Yeah, but I'm just not sure she's the one that's qualified for this particular job. This is the first one I've really went.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that one, but that one's a concern. Mark Rubio is rumored to become the next Secretary of State.
He'll do good.
We'll see if that actually takes place. And Elon Musk. This is the other one that was the big thing. They are in talks to have him leading a new Department of Government Efficiency, where he would cut costs and streamline what he calls a massive suffocating federal bureaucracy. I've also heard specifically focusing on the Pentagon and what we're spending money on.
Wow.
So again,
I've always said this, like, where's our money going? How's it being spent? And, we always hear when we do the debates about, helping out the we people, the little people, us down here, the common folk. And I'm thinking, why don't you cut y'all's salaries down?
Right. Which is what Trump did.
2 or 3 houses. I don't even own a house. We're just building our very first house that we've saved money since we got married. And it took over 10 years to save to start. Right. And you hear people like, when Biden, I remember he talked about, well, I know how it's like, but he had 3 or 4 homes, like vacation homes. And I know as a president, you get that, some of that you get put in, but he already had some homes before that. And I'm thinking maybe we should like cut down y'all's salaries, and then maybe it will become a career. Maybe we'll see less careered politicians.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Because why are you getting paid more money than the common man? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know.
And how are you in the seat? And I'll say this while we're talking about, how can be in the seat way, way longer than a president's full if they do 2 terms.
Yeah.
You can be in the seat as long as you want, as long as you get voted in and never, have to cancel out like a president has to.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I think there needs to be some terms on not just the president, but also on the Senate and the Congress as a whole.
Yeah.
Like after you've done 3 or 4 terms, whatever the number will be.
Yeah, because there's some that have been in there for like 40, 50 years, and it's like, get out.
Yeah, like,
and I know it's an election thing, but some of y'all don't do your research and you're just voting straight ticket. I mean, there needs to be
like more laws and guidelines when it comes to running for government or I guess federal positions.
Yes.
And I've had this talks with many, 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 many different parties. And I think everybody's getting on the same page. And I'll say it like I said last time, it has to start here with us. And it's about how you vote in to make those changes. And we go from there.
And that's one thing we've talked about. And I know this is a touchy sore subject, but, Trump didn't take a check the first time around.
He didn't want to take a check, but he had to.
But I think he donated that money over. And I'm going to talk about something that is controversial. And I don't think I've ever outed this on public forum before, but here we go. Why not?
Sure. Go for
it. If y'all recall during Trump's first term, we had those horrible tornadoes that tore through Lebanon and Nashville and Cookeville, and Cookeville got hit the hardest. And Trump as president, he didn't go to Nashville where he would have gotten the most media coverage.
No.
He went to the worst damaged area. And I have heard this from multiple people that were there when he visited, knowing full well that relief can take a while to get there. I mean, I just watched a video this morning where it's been a month since the hurricane whipped through Western North Carolina.
Yep.
The volunteers have left, and they're still in
turmoil over there.
I mean, it just takes a while. The wheels of our government move slow. But Trump showed up in Cookeville with his personal accountant, and he was cutting checks out of his personal bank account to these people to help them get through until the aid came, till FEMA was able to get them the help. The people that were hit the hardest, who needed money the most, he was cutting personal checks.
Yeah.
And I don't know if any other president did that. But you and I have talked about this. There are the people who do things for media coverage, for accolades, for praise. And then there are people who do things because it's the right thing to do and it needs to be done. And know that. And of course, even if he had told anybody, the media coverage wasn't going to, the media wasn't going to talk about that.
Not at this time.
No.
Because everything.
But I have heard that from multiple sources.
He helped one of my friends' families out.
Yeah. Oh, see?
So
I mean,
I know at least one that got help by him.
Yeah. It's
and it didn't get talked about. Now, it did get talked about in the Cookeville press.
Did it?
Mm-hmm. Okay. But it didn't get
national coverage
because like everything else.
In the opposite light of what people want to believe about him.
That's correct.
And I'm not saying the man's perfect. I put this up on my Facebook page.
He is not perfect. I wish, I'm going to say this and you can go on. I wish he could have some type of like a muffle, like a Trump, a Trump translator, like this is what I want you to say.
Right.
But then it changes it to be like, oh, well, that's much nicer. Thank you.
I mean,
but business-wise,
he's crass.
yeah.
He is a New Yorker. New Yorkers have a different way of speaking. Us in the South, kings and queens of manners and yes ma'ams. A lot of us don't understand that that's just how New York is.
Yeah.
I have family from New York. I mean, it's just, I'm not saying it's right.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to explain that they're just a little bit crass. So should he have made that comment about women's body parts? No, absolutely not.
Are we human and we make mistakes?
Absolutely.
100%.
The point is to grow from that.
Yeah. Let's see their growth as a person.
Yes. I will also say this. If you guys have not looked up Biden's speech after the election, wow. You got some questions.
Where has he gone?
I feel a little bamboozled. And
that's what Walker said.
Yeah, he was asking me what bamboozled meant.
And then we watched it. He's like, Mom.
Right.
He has never spoke like that. Now, keep in mind, I keep my son. I let him watch what we see.
Yeah.
And that included the Biden speeches and the press conferences. And he said yesterday, and this is from a child. Now, happy birthday, by the way, son. Today he's turning 10. He said, like, that's not, he goes, Mom, Dad, he tricked us.
Yeah. That's
and I said, what do you mean, son? He goes, he never talked like that in any of his meetings. He always had a book, flipping through the pages, got some people's names messed up.
Earpieces, reading off the teleprompter.
And he said, and sometimes he walked off.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, we're not done. Oh, my bad. And then wouldn't talk back on the microphone. He said the guy that you just showed me was not the same person. And you know what he said? He goes, if he talked like that the whole time when he was president,
it would have been better. And I'm like, is he tricking us as the American people, or was he pulling the wool over his own party's eyes?
Don't know, but that is a thought.
That they were worse.
You guys know y'all are thinking the same thing. I know that we're like saying a lot of controversial things right now.
And we're sounding like conspiracy theorists. Yeah, we're just spitballing. My husband actually said, well, he's had time to rest.
I thought that too. That's what I told Walker.
And maybe that's it. But I felt
and the stress has been taken off. Like he's almost done.
Right. He's done with all of this. But you know. If you've ever seen the movie Usual Suspects with Kevin Spacey, one of his greatest performances, I truly feel like he pulled a Kaiser Sose. I mean, because I'm watching that speech and I'm like,
I can't believe you threw that out, but yeah,
that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've ever seen that, that's what I
and again, it's okay if y'all don't want an opinion on that, but that's just our opinion. And I pray that Biden has a great rest of the healthy life. I think that his speech was great about how he was going to make a smooth and easy transition. I actually believe the words coming out of his mouth yesterday. I really did. And talking about Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, and talking about her and saying, saying what he said about that. And I'm hoping that this
was a beautiful speech.
I really felt like yesterday's speech was like, is this a turn? Are we finally taking that turn of being adults?
Yeah, it was wild. Y'all look it up. You'll see what we're talking about, because I went, huh? And then somebody else said, I don't think that was him. I was like, what? Let's not get way off on the conspiracy theory train. But it was interesting.
I want to say it was him, and I think this is a turn for the best, because just kind of like what Joe said, like when everybody was at the election watch party over there, it was a party for it's finally time to be over.
Yeah, everybody's just done.
We're over with this. It's not. I don't want to say it was Joe Biden, but during the Biden administration and some things that happened, I think America as a whole, like that guy said, it was an American mandate. We are just tired. Can we just have a positive now?
Yeah.
And so whether that was with Vice President Harris or now President-elect Trump, whoever was going to win, we just were like, okay. I think everybody would have done the same thing, whether win or lose.
I'm able to breathe. I don't know. It's a weird thing, and we're not going to get into it.
No.
This is fun.
And then this is like, as my son says, satisfying. Somebody washing a window.
I know. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just realized what that probably looks.
Squirrel.
Look, he's doing a really great job.
But with that said, if there is any events going on, any stories that are going on that we have not covered that you would like us to be a part of, there's some stuff that we actually, and I want to say thank you. I can't say their names because they need to remain anonymous right now. There's some stories that have been handed to us most recently that I found the appropriate people to communicate with and got them, together to talk. And I know that things are being talked about, investigated about, seen about. So if there is ever an issue that you are facing that you're like, I don't know who to contact, I don't know who to call, this is what Warren First 931 is all about. You can call us at 931-305-0869. Text me at that number. Email us at warrenfirst931@gmail.com. Facebook text me. Instagram text me. If I don't get with you within 2 days, you need to call. I want to say that because we are hit left and right from so many things, but we want to make sure, because if it is important to you, it's always important to us.
Absolutely.
And, there's some things I wish we could talk about right now, but I am told to keep my mouth shut. So
that happens.
And I'm going to. But with that said, I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Of course, tomorrow we will not be having our show. That's our break day, but we will be back on Thursday and Friday to host the show. And I want to say thanks to Leah Simpson for just messaging us. They invited us to come out for this little doohickey. There's a girl that is going to be signing a golf scholarship somewhere. So,
speaking of which, and we did not cover this, but can I find it real quick?
Yes.
We had posted. I don't think I shared it. Hang on.
What are you talking about? Speak.
We had a very big sports moment here this last week. Hang on.
We did. I thought we did share it.
We did, but we didn't share the results.
The cross country one?
Yes, and I think she came in 5th. Oh, no, I'm not going to be able to find it. Here it is.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay,
I shared it.
Emma Woodley.
Shout out to Emma.
But she, it's not showing the results. There was the results came, and she got like 5th, I think is what it was. She did an incredible job. It was a big moment.
I was going to say, before, I think it's on the cross country.
Oh, okay,
not that
maybe
one.
That's why.
It's on the something else. It's, hold on.
Because I want to make sure she gets. We would like to focus on all sports in Warren County.
And I'm trying to do that, and I've called 3 people now in 1 email. So, if you know how we can get more in touch with our sports, please let me know. Okay, here it is.
You got it?
Breaking cross-country news. Freshman Emma Woodley finished 5th today at the Regions, which makes her Warren County High School's first cross-country state qualifier. She set a new school record of 20:06, which passes her previous record of 21:53. This is the 4th time she has broken her school record this year. Way to go, Emma. I don't know what happened at the Regions, if that happened.
Can y'all see Emma? Look how cute she is. So, that a girl.
Yeah.
Go change the world. Break some records.
Make
your mark in this world.
Yeah. I mean, everybody, all of us just need to get around her and love on her. But shout out to Emma, and just keep doing what you're doing. And the Warren County Athletics, continue what you're doing. You are making changes in these kids' lives.
Yes.
And helping them. You're teaching them how to be an adult.
Yeah.
And teaching them responsibility with fun rewards. So enjoy that. But with that said, take care. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. And remember, Warren County, keep it first.